Before we start this week's video, I want to make a correction and give a chance for the born and raised Alaskans to make fun of the newbies here. The place we went dip netting, throughout the whole video, we referred to it as Kasilof because we were just looking at how it was spelled, and we have been corrected, and it is most definitely pronounced Kasilof. We're taking a pause on our woodshed build because we saw online that the Kasilof, I believe is what it's called, is running with salmon pretty strong. They upped the limits for the sport fishing, but you can also do dip netting there. So we are going to head down and do some dip netting. Hopefully we can get our limits and get back up here. So we're packing up the truck and gonna bring a bunch of supplies so that we can hopefully process some fish there and not have to haul them the 5-hour trip back here before being able to process them.
So we just got to the beach and we already know something that we're gonna do different if we ever do this again, and that's gonna be bring a tent, because we can see up ahead there are just dozens and dozens of tents, and it would make this whole thing, I think, a little bit easier. It's officially time. Cody's gonna watch Rowan and I'm gonna go first. She's a little burrito. Well, I had to stop and feed Rowan, and literally 8 minutes later,
Got our first run, got a red.
Cody got our first salmon.
Man, is it in here?
We're learning how hard it is to get it out of a dip net. I think you just have to be forceful.
Well, I don't want to break it.
Yeah, that's true. Woo, this is so exciting. Show your fish. Hard to tell, but it's about 11:30 right now. And I'm so far away, but I think that's Cody coming up with the fish in his dip net.
Pretty good size one.
Yeah, you got a good one. I was hoping to get down here right before you caught one. And then I shut the truck door and I was like, oh, he got one, but I can't complain about it.
$16 to go.
Yeah, you've been catching a whole bunch. I told you this is the time that you were fishing last night.
Yeah.
Neither of us knew we'd learn a life skill of how to untangle a fish from a net.
Also found if I am able to keep them out of the mud coming up,
You can just wipe off the rocks. Yeah, looks like that's what you're doing. Saves you a bit of time going back and forth.
Yeah, because when they're coming in, they just want to get back out.
Yeah, because you can see the line of where the rocks end, and then it's just mud. But not the dangerous mud, it's the okay mud. But still not fun mud. Let's see our haul so far. Okay. All right, how many more?
16.
16, go get them. Fascinated with the seagulls. in the camera a little bit. Hi, baby.
So this is the setup we have for meals today. We have our water jug and a propane grill on the back of our tailgate, and then we have a couple of these Mountain House meals to have that viewers actually sent us. We did forget silverware, but we found one in our truck, so we'll have one to share. What do you think of your freeze-dried meal?
It's not too bad, actually, but Cody fell in the mud and got all wet, so now it's my turn to go fishing.
That's why you're eating first. I'm wet and cold.
Well, my waders have a hole in them, so me too.
Well, yeah. We only have 12 fish to go.
Yeah. The goal is to have an eagle come swoop down and grab that. Time to do another one. We're definitely going to be cleaning these fish up a lot better once it's not to the absolute lowest tide and the water's a little bit closer. But we didn't want to wait because that's going to take a little bit, and these need to get on ice.
We didn't quite get our limit. We didn't want to wait for the next tide to come in, because if we waited that long, we'd be getting home like really, really late. /
early the next morning.
Yeah, early in the morning, and I don't think I'd be able to make that drive, so yeah. We were 11 shy of our goal of the 45 limit for the year. So we ended up with 34 fish. We headed them and gutted them, and then we're going to process them once we get home. So most likely all of these are going to be made into fillets, just because we got them so fresh from the ocean. It's not like when they're up by us, but once they're up there, they're starting to spawn out and they're just not as nice to fish. So those ones we will most likely be canning if we get any. But all these we'll keep as fillets. We didn't get a ton of recording while we were there, just because there's a lot of people, so we don't want to put a bunch of people in the videos.
And with Rowan, and it was kind of windy and cold, so one of us kind of hid out in the truck while the other person was fishing, so right. We didn't really do it together, but
yeah, that's all right. It was a lot of fun though. Like, as the salmon were coming in and people were all catching fish, there were like campfires and music playing, everybody's
getting excited,
happy, having fun. Yeah. You can definitely tell when the fish slow down though. There's not as many people in the water. Everybody's kind of quiet.
Some people leave.
Yeah, it's just kind of a downer, and then the fish come in again, and it's all just fun again. Everybody's having a blast.
Yeah, it was really easy to tell when fish were being caught and when they weren't.
Yep, just by the general vibe of everybody there. Yeah, you can tell.
We had a super nice couple help us out. We forgot our like whacking stick for the fish, and they gave us one, so we were able to use that for the trip. So that was super, super nice.
Yeah, it was as soon as we pulled into the parking lot, they recognized us and offered it to us because we had forgot ours. So it's super nice of them.
We're definitely compiling a list of the things that we did not bring this time that we need to make sure we bring the next time we do this. Google Maps says it is a 5-hour drive to get back to our property. Taking into fact that we have a 2.5-month-old, add about 2 hours to that. So realistically,
plus our trail.
Plus, well, no, that's kind of including the trail a little bit.
It includes the trail, but
not the speed.
It's expecting us to drive like 25 the whole way.
Yeah.
And it's more like 5 to 10.
So more realistically, it's about 7 hours to get from our property to where we were fishing. So we have about 7 hours to go. It is almost 6 o'clock right now. That's still putting us very early in the morning.
And we gotta clean the fish when we get home. So it's gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be a late one. I think we're all a little overly tired right now.
Yeah, we didn't get much sleep last night because I didn't stop fishing until 2.
I was gonna say, I think it was like after 2 in the morning that you stopped.
Yep.
And
you started at
8.
8 o'clock?
Yeah, I had a hard time getting going this morning because everything was wet and I was so cold.
Yeah, it was pretty chilly.
But it was a lot of fun. Definitely gonna do it again. Oh yeah, this is cold.
Good. Ari, why you gotta be so nosy?
You don't get these. You get that mosquito off your face though. Alright, so all I'm gonna do is just kind of rinse off as much of the slime as possible. And then one thing we didn't do when we were cleaning them, Irie, scooch out of the way. On the inside, we didn't go down this spine where there's a lot of blood right there. So I'm just gonna kind of cut that and get all that blood out. Probably should have done it when we were there, but without having the water, because it was really low tide, it was just making such a mess. So we figured it would wait until now. Right now, my only concern is accidentally letting go and having our fish float down the creek.
You gotta
But
go running.
Cody's on standby, and the dog.
You gotta run faster than the dog is the problem.
I don't even know if she'd be capable of grabbing it, but maybe she would be.
I'm sure she would.
Alright, so they're slippery anyway, but at least most of the slime is off. And then the inside looks a lot cleaner now. So this is all, that's all we're doing. Ugh, 2 down, 32 to go. Alrighty. Oh, it's a good looking cooler. Oh. Thank you.
It's a lot of fish there. It's heavy.
Okay, so the plan is grab the fish, cut off the fillets. The stuff we don't want is going in this pot to be cooked down for dog food. Then the fillets are going to get rinsed off one more time in fresh, clean water. And then I'm going to set them on the towel, or I'm going to kind of just let them dry off. I might pat them dry. I'm not sure yet. So I'll figure out the size of the fillet, cut them, and I think what we decided is if it's a smaller fish, we might try to fit 2 fillets in one package. And then if it's a bigger one, we might just put 1 fillet per package. Okay, this is going to be, oh, this is awful. This is turning out terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think it's better if I go from this side. Oh no. Okay. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. Yeah. That was awful. That was really bad. Much off of here as we can. Really, we're just trying to take out the spine right now and leave as much of the fillet, I think, is what's going on. Okay. Whatever. Alright. But that looks better. That doesn't look quite as ripped apart as the last one did. This one doesn't look nearly as butchered as the first attempt. Would you like to see a side-by-side comparison? I think we learned a lot. I'm sure it's still probably awful, but I think we learned a lot. Try 1. It was butchered. Try 2. Actually looks decent. There's still some like weird stuff up here, but we're going to ignore that. Okay, so there's the 2 worst fillets, hopefully, of the day. And then the little strip of belly. I'm going to have the skins together. I'm gonna have it look like this, so that tails are opposite of each other. Slide it in. Maybe we can kind of like offset them a little bit. Kasilof dip. Ooh, look at this side. That side looks way prettier.
Start with some olive oil as my base here.
Inside.
Add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Soy sauce. Ginger. And some garlic powder. Oh, I forgot to add my sugar in there. Gonna get some honey put in.
Here we are. Are these gonna be kebabs?
Yep.
Oh, yum.
Alright, we're gonna let this sit for about 20 minutes and then we'll skewer them and cook them up. All this extra liquid doesn't go to waste. We're gonna pour it in this and start simmering it and cooking it down. You wanna try it?
Yeah.
Alright.
I've been smelling it this whole time and it smells so good. It looks really, really good too. I'm happy that you got some of like the little charry bits on there because that's my favorite. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. It's almost like a teriyaki.
Kinda.
Mm-hmm.
It is really good though.
Yum.
Like, this is probably my favorite way we've had salmon so far.
I would say it's definitely up there for me too.
We got yours cooking.
Yeah. We are going to start jarring up our dog food that we have. It's a little bit runnier than I think we would have done, but we're just trying to rush through it all and get it cooked down. So we've just been saving all of like the peanut butter type jars, and then even some of these like pizza sauce jars that we have. These ones are glass, so we're going to make sure that we don't fill them up all the way, and we're probably going to use the ones that just don't have as much liquid in the scoops. But these ones are just plastic, so I think they're going to be perfect for freezing dog food in. And they're all clear, so hopefully we'll know what it is. We won't like have it in a yogurt container and grab it out thinking it's yogurt or something. So yeah. Perfect. Yep, so I think 2 scoops, right?
I got a touch more in there.
Well, it's... Yeah, that went more than that. You can kind of see some of the bones poking out, but I can literally just... They snap in my fingers. And then the spines, I can literally just crush them. So I'm not concerned about that at all.
And normally with the salmon, we would keep the heads and cook that down in here, and you just cook it until the heads just collapse and turn to nothing, just like the rest of this. But being so far, we didn't want to have to move those and keep them cold or whatever. So
yeah, I don't think we ever plan on like cooking down the guts though.
no.
So in every situation, we're gonna gut the fish and not keep the guts, but normally we'd also keep the heads for this. So that's what they look like.
Get them froze and she'll love them. Save on some dog food. Finally finished up all the dog food, so now we are going to get to those salmon bellies. We are going to get those smoked on the grill. So ideally what we're going to use is alder. That is the best wood we have in the area for smoking, and that would probably be followed by birch, but you don't want to use the spruce. And I wasn't thinking when I started this fire, and I built spruce on the bottom to get it going because it's easy to light. So I'm going to wait for that spruce to burn down a bit, and then I've got a layer of alder across the top. And then what I'll do is I will cut these off, and it's going to start building smoke, and we're going to put the bellies in here. And then to control my temperature, I'm going to have to be constantly checking this. I will be coming over here and opening and closing this door, or using the vent on it. We're producing a lot of smoke, and we're sitting at a nice smoking temperature. I ran out of room, so I'm going to try and figure out how to put another grate in here. Started getting pretty tight at the end, but I made them all fit. So we're going to close this, and it'll read low right now because it's been open, but it'll get back up to temp. And then we're just going to keep an eye on it and let it smoke, and not sure how long we'll let it go yet. Oh, it's definitely plenty. These over here are definitely the more ideal ones. Those back there far got cooked too much. But that's because all my heat comes out of that hole right there and comes up through and then out the pipe. So ideally this is what I wanted.
Those ones, maybe we'll just eat them. I don't know. Maybe we'll can them still. We'll see what Lori thinks. But otherwise, I think these are looking pretty nice. I'm pretty excited about that. Those ones, we'll see. Maybe that'll be its own jar. I'm gonna leave that as one. I'm gonna aim to fill them all about that much. Ended up with 5 jars. The 4 jars are good. This one was the ones that were pretty dark. I opened one up and tried the inside, and it's kind of like jerky almost. It's pretty tough and dry-ish, but I'm gonna wipe these tops with vinegar, put the lids on them, and then we'll see how that one turns out, but we'll get these canned up.
Well, we dug everything back out of the freezer because we wanted to see it all sitting in one shot on a table. So here it is.
We have 33 fillets, beginning we ate one because we had caught 34 fish. So we got 34 packages of salmon, so 66 fillets left. We have 5 jars of the smoked salmon that I'm super excited to try. And then we have a handful of jars of dog food here. I'm considering these ones as like 2 meals and then the smaller ones as 1. So we have about 25 meals for the dog. And then we've got a bag of the salmon roe, or the eggs, that we will be putting through a process to make into bait for fishing later in the season once the fish are up higher up.
And once we're allowed to. You can't use bait everywhere, and it does change time frame. But yeah, so we don't plan on eating the eggs. Not this time.
No, not this time.
I think we spent about
2 days there.
Well, we were 1 hour off. Like, it's 24 hours of fishing, basically, I'd say. So, not too bad.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to learn, and definitely would do it again. It's a very easy way to fill up our freezer. Next time, we will be keeping the heads to cook down into the dog food also, but we didn't want to try and figure out how to transport those and keep them cold and stuff for processing. But next time.